I'm pleased to announce that the Cabinet has approved the change in age requirement to enroll children in Year 1 from 2024. Children will no longer be declined enrollment into Year 1 just because they were born after 30th June. Regulation 8 of the Education Regulations 1966, in particular, establishment and registration of schools, was amended by the Cabinet to allow schools to admit children in Year 1 as long as the child turns 6 years old by 31 December in the year of admission. By which we mean that a child in Year 1 should turn 6 years of age in that year. This change will allow a child to enter formal education before he or she turns 6 in the year of admission. Prior to this amendment, a school could only admit a child who is 6 on 30th June in the year of admission. This meant that children who turned 6 years in the months between July and December were denied enrollment. This change will only be fully implemented from 2024. Cabinet has also approved provisional enrollment for Year 1 students. In other words, parents wishing to send their children to Year 1 in 2024 can start applying for provisional admission from 1st March 2023. Provisional admission will close on 1st May 2023, and parents will be notified of final admission before 31st July 2023 for Year 1 students in 2024. This will allow the Ministry to better manage student enrollment in Year 1. The 12-month lead time will benefit the Ministry's planning for Year 1 students and give the Ministry time to work with the heads of schools. It will ensure that students are enrolled within their zones and will also provide the opportunity to negotiate with the parents to move students to avoid overcrowding in certain schools. Provisional admission will also assist the Ministry in establishing additional classrooms or appointing additional teachers to address increase in student numbers in a particular zone. The Ministry will be able to plan infrastructure needs to cater for additional students enrolling in Year 1 as a result of amendment to the enrollment policy. We expect numbers in the urban areas, particularly Suva, Nosori, Nandi, and Lotoka, to increase further. So it will be important that we accommodate these students in schools within the zones. A home zone is a 2 kilometers radius from the school, which means students living in a particular school zone will be accepted in that school. Students who do not have access to a school zone may apply to be enrolled in the nearest school. Some exceptions to enrollment in the zones are if one or both parents work outside the zone, other siblings are schooling in a school that is outside the zone, certain preferred subjects are not offered in schools within the zone, and preference for certain vernacular subjects are not offered in schools within the zone. So these are the exceptions. I reiterate that we will only be allowing students to enroll in schools in the zones, and parents are requested to be prepared to send their children to other schools within their zones. With this amendment, the age of children eligible to enroll in preschool or kindergarten will also change. To enroll in preschool or kindergarten, a child must turn 5 years old by 31st December of the year of admission. We urge parents to also apply for provisional admission for children who will be attending preschool or kindergarten in 2024. Their provisional admission will also start on 1st March 2023 and close on 1st May 2023. Admission will be finalized before 31st July 2023. The education regulation came into force 56 years ago, and since then, the learning capability of children in Fiji has improved with the advancement in technology, better access to the internet, and the availability of smartphones, gadgets, learning devices in Fijian homes. Ladies and gentlemen, young children have more access to information, and we have all seen our children learning that alphabet, nursery rhymes, and maths on their smart devices. We know our little ones are getting smarter and smarter, and this, of course, is fueled further by this government's free education initiative, which allows every single Fijian child uninhibited access to education through free tuition, textbooks, and transport assistance. Therefore, it would be unfair to disallow a child from being admitted into Year 1 because of few months' difference in age. Numerous parents and guardians had raised concerns when their children were declined admission in schools. We listened, took those concerns, and used them as the foundation of this policy review. The amendment is in line with best international practice. For example, in New Zealand, a child can start school between the ages of 5 and 6. All children must be enrolled in school by the 6th birthday. In most states in Australia, the compulsory schooling age of children is by the 6th birthday. In Mauritius, a child transitions into primary education from the age of 5. I'm also pleased to announce that the 2023 admission, we're talking about 2023 admission, for preschool, Year 1, and Year 9 applications are now open. I also ask for parents and guardians' understanding if the children are not accepted in certain schools of their choice, because the schools already have the required number of students. In such cases, our district and divisional officers will assist parents in finding the next nearest school for their child. I therefore ask for your understanding as we have already started the admission process for next year. Parents and guardians are requested to contact our district and divisional officers if they need any assistance or wish to clarify anything regarding their children's admission. As announced earlier, Term 1 for 2023 academic year will begin on 30th January 2023. Thank you very much.
Minister, could you just clarify the light here from Fiji Live? You mentioned that the program will roll out in 2024.
Correct.
But applications will begin from March 2023. Explain a little bit further on that, ma'am?
Yes. So in today's press conference, we talked about two sets of enrollment. Enrollment for next year, which is happening right now, and it will close in December, by mid-December, and of course the parents will be notified because the schools will reopen on 30th January. So we'll park that aside. Now let's come to the change in the regulation, which means that any child who turns 6 by 31st December of the admission year can be enrolled in Year 1. Now, obviously, we do foresee increase in number of students enrolling. So it requires a bit of time for the ministry to prepare for the increase in number of students. And to prepare ourselves for the increase in number of students, we will be starting with our enrollment for 2024 in actually next year, starting from 1st March. So any parent who want to enroll their children in preschool or Year 1 in 2024 can start enrolling their child from 1st March of next year. Why are we doing this? We need to, as I have mentioned, if there is increase in number of students, it also means that we need to get more infrastructure in place. We also need to have more teachers, recruited so that they can be teaching in that school. We have done our analysis district by district, school by school. Before I'm making this announcement, we have found that overcrowding or more students will be enrolling in Suva Nosori corridor and Nendi and Lotoka corridor. All the other districts are pretty safe. So just to prepare ourselves, we need a lead time, and 12 months is good time for the ministry to work with the school management committee members as well as the head of schools and to prepare for 2024. We have to start somewhere, and this is the best time to get this new policy rolled out with advance notification.
Premila from Legend FM and VTFM news team. Is that admission only for year 1 or is it all for up to year 13?
It's only, today we're just talking about change in the enrollment for year 1 and preschool.
I meant the 2024 admission.
Correct. So we are still talking about year 1 and preschool for 2024.
From Fiji TV. I know that was one of the concerns that was brought up by parents, given that their children are born after July, they tend to be rejected from schools. What about other requirements that are also barriers for parents, like some schools that are religious-based, they ask students and parents whether they belong to a certain religious group, and that also hinders in students being admitted in a particular school. Is the ministry also looking at that particular bit in order to?
Each and every school is multicultural. Each and every school offers religion class, so none of the students are denied religion classes. We are promoting schools to be multicultural because school is a place for knowledge, to gain knowledge. And of course, holistic development. So that's why we have not taken away religion or languages that the schools are offering. So all that will continue. And of course, it's the parents' choice. And we will take into consideration, as I've mentioned earlier on about the zoning policy, if a particular subject is not offered, then that's an exception to the zoning policy.
And I meant in terms of admission, like some schools ask in the enrollment form, they have what denomination you come from, like if they're Christian.
Look, I mean, if the schools have that type of form where they're asking for all that, that's all right. It's good to have additional information because we're talking about religion here, and maybe it's to do with the religious class. So they're trying to get that information so that they'll be able to know, how many teachers they have to hire for religion class. So.
Madam Chanzos, I'm from Fiji, sir. Madam, I would just like to get a comment regarding the termination of the free teachers from now.
Today's press conference is on the enrollment policy.
Madam, we got a comment from the Fijian Teachers Association.
Today's press conference is on enrollment policy. If you have your individual question, I will attend to that individually.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And in terms of enrollment,
Sure.
sorry, we've also will see there's an increase in indiscipline about students. What about these reoffenders that reoffend from schools? And I understand that there is no expulsion and suspension in place right now. So what is the ministry stand in that way?
Again, that is nothing to do with the enrollment policy that we are talking
I'm just
about
asking,
today.
What is the policy about reoffending
Correct.
students?
We can discuss this one-to-one later. I don't want to waste everyone else's time here. So I hope, do you have any other question related to enrollment policy, amendment to the enrollment policy, or amendment to the regulation, which comes into effect in 2024?
So what about the other forms, the other classes? Because
It's natural. It's natural that the students keep on moving, and ministry has been in existence for so many years. We know what the trend is, so that's why we are not overemphasizing other enrollment, but we are only emphasizing on preschool and year one. Yeah. All right. Thank you.